So we'll talk about ethnography now. So what is ethnography? It is a type of qualitative research. What does mean by qualitative research? Qualitative research is basically what it is all about the content. Okay. When we talk about the quantitative research, it is all about the like quantity, like functions we use, like formulas. It's all about equations. We perform any kind of functionalities, any kind of methodologies to give a particular result. Okay. So when we are talking about qualitative research, it means that we will produce just a theory, just a content. Okay. It is about observing and understanding the people's behavior in different natural environments, in different phenomena, in different habits. Okay, we will just see how people behave and how they behave in particular kind of situations. Okay, like for example, observing customer behavior in retail stores to identify shopping patterns. Okay, we can use ethnography research method when we are going to do observe the shopping patterns of any customer. Okay, why we do the observations of our customers? We just need to know that how people purchase different things. Like pattern means if you are going to purchase like milk from the mart, okay, you will buy some other things too, like eggs, like bread. This means that if any customer is going anywhere, like in shopping mall, anywhere, so what things he is or she is going to buy. And in routine, if someone is visiting any mall, what he is buying, what he is purchasing. Okay. So on that basis, the like people employees there will see that this particular customer is like it coming here for these particular things. Okay, so we need to observe those behaviors of our customers to provide them a good experience, to provide them good customer service. Okay, so we can do this by using ethnography. Okay, shadowing employees to understand workflow challenges. Okay, we can observe our employees that how they are working in different kind of situations, in different challenges, in different issues, during different kind of problems, how the employees behave. Okay, we need to observe that too. So this is ethnography. If we want to do research on our employees, being an employer or maybe CEO of any company, if I want to do research on my employees, how they are behaving, how they are working, are they working okay in different kind of challenges, so I will use ethnography. Participating in cultural events to gain socio-culture insights. It means that when we need to it means that when we need to understand different kind of cultures, okay, we need to participate in those events, and by going there, by visiting those events, we can observe the people behavior there and how they are like behaving there, how they are performing different kind of events and different things there. Okay, we will do this all by observation. So this is all about ethnography. So what is the process of ethnography? different steps we follow during ethnography. We need to identify the core product idea, like the idea about we are going to do research. Okay, the problem we are going to do identify, we need to identify that problem. Okay, after that we will formulate the research questions. We need to have some questions, we need to plan some questions, we need to write down some questions for our research. So we will formulate those research questions, finalize the research location. Okay, so depending upon our idea, depending upon our needs, depending upon our situations, we will finalize the research location. Like in previous example, we were talking about participating in cultural events to gain the social culture insights. Like if we want to see that, we want to observe the behavior of different people in different cultural events, we need to attend that event. It means that we need to finalize the location for the particular research. After that, you will determine the type of ethnographic research. So there are different kind of ethnographic research. So we will also need to determine the type we are going to use in our research. Seek approvals. So the team will approve if the particular research is going to happen, and the idea and the research questions and the research location, is it okay? So we need approvals to conduct ethnographic research. And after all of these steps, by following all these steps, we will conduct an ethnographic research. And after that research, we will analyze the collected data. The collected data means that the questions we have asked, like the observations we have done in particular event, like the particular behaviors we have observed, we will analyze those data. Create the requirements document means that we need to create a document related all these steps we have already performed. Okay, as I was talking about research paper. So what is research paper? Research paper is basically a document we create after doing the research related any kind of problem, related any kind of issue, related any kind of challenge. Okay, so why we do ethnography research, why we use it? So it provides deep cultural and contextual understanding. Okay, it provides us content. It provides us the observation related people's behavior, capture real world behaviors and unmet needs. Okay, like we have talking about the customer behaviors during shopping and the customer shopping patterns. So when we are talking about shopping patterns, it means that if any kind of customer coming in our shop, coming in our outlet, and he is finding any kind of object, any kind of thing in our outlet, and he is not getting that thing there. So it means that unmet needs. We did not meet the customer needs. So we need ethnography research. Okay, if our customers coming in our outlets and they are buying different kind of products, and different kind of products may be not available at our outlet, they will not come again. Okay, so that's why we need to perform any kind of research there to get the knowledge about the customers, that different kind of things they are buying from our outlet, and we will try that from our shop they will buy the other material too. Okay, so that's why we will do the research for our customers. So after that we will see the limitations for that product. Like for this methodology, if we are using ethnography, it means that there may be So if we need to observe different kind of behaviors, different kind of people's behavior, we use ethnography, but there are some kind of limitations in this method. These are time intensive and require significant efforts. As we have already talked about the process of ethnography, where we have seen that we need to identify the idea, we need to formulate different kind of questions, we need to finalize the research location. So it means that if we don't have done these things, so it will took so many time for completing these process. Okay, so there is the limitation for using ethnography and may involve observer bias. Like what means by this observer bias, like the people who are doing these observations, they may be biased. If anyone going any particular uh, event, and if she or he maybe belong to another community, he may be biased about that. Okay, so people who are doing this ethnography research, if they are biased, they will not produce rational results. They will be do the research and they will analyze the data and then they will produce biased results. So this is also a limitation in ethnography. But if we need to do observations and some kind of we need to observe the shopping behaviors of different customers, we will use ethnography. So there is another type of focus group. So why we use this? We may use the focus group. Before going to study the focus group, I will explain some other method for the research. There is another method for research which is interviews. So for research, we can also conduct research through interviews. It means that we are going to perform one-to-one conversation with different peoples aimed at obtaining detailed and personal insights on a topic. When we are talking about any particular observation, like any particular issue, any particular problem, we need to conduct interviews for that, like one-to-one conversations with people, so that we will find updated knowledge. We can find personal insights about that topic. Okay, by doing discussions, by performing conversations, we can get data about that problem. For example, speaking with industry experts for in-depth knowledge, if we are going to perform any kind of industry level improvements, so we can speak to the industry experts for different kind of knowledge related that industry, interviewing customers to understand product usage. For example, if we are manufacturing any particular product, so for improvement, we can go to the customers and we can ask for feedback and reviews from the customers. They will provide us detailed knowledge about that product. Consulting stakeholders for project feedback. So, what are the stakeholders? Stakeholders, all the people influenced by any kind of project, any kind of product we are going to make, any kind of system we are going to make. The people who are affected by that system, that product, they all are stakeholders. And we need to consult all these stakeholders to get the detailed information from those people. So these are all the examples of interview. So conducting an interview, it can a long process. Like we need to perform these steps for. a research interview. Identify the objectives and understand the goals. Okay, select an appropriate format. So first of all, as we are talking about in ethnography and as we are talking about in desk research, before going to do research, we need to select our topic. We need to identify the objective of our research. We need to understand about the idea we are going to talk about. Okay, so first step will remain same in every kind of research methodology. First of all, we will identify the objective, the problem, or any kind of goals we want to achieve, any kind of problem we are going to solve. We will identify that problem, and then we will select an appropriate interview format. Okay, we will see that how the interview will be conducted, organize the necessary material for the interview. Okay, so we need to plan the interview and then we need to organize the necessary material for that interview. If we need any kind of thing for that interview before conducting the interview, we have to organize that too. Okay, understand the questions to be addressed. We need to understand that which kind of questions we will ask from our interviewees. Select the interviews before going to talk about the interview, there is need that we need to select the people whom we are going to talk. Okay, so we need to select the people who are easily we can talk about the problem. Okay, who are easily available to us. Okay, so we need to select the interviews too. Analyze the demographics of interviews. Okay, we need to analyze that too, and design the interview questions to gather sufficient information. Okay, so before schedule any kind of interview, we need to design proper questions for that information, for that particular topic, for that problem we are going to talk about. Okay, so that we can gather sufficient amount of the information we need to do research. We will schedule the interview we will different we will set different times for the interview in which the interviews are available, and then we will conduct the interview. Explain the purpose of interview. Okay, before start the questioning from the interviewees, we need to explain the purpose of our research and purpose of the interview, so that the other person will feel comfortable with you to give you much information about that project, maybe about that problem. Okay, so before going to asking different kind of questions, we need to make him her comfortable by explaining our purpose, by explaining our idea of the research. Analyze the interview based on his her responses. Okay, so at last step, as we already have done in research, desk research and ethnography, analyze the collected data. The collected data means we already have collected different responses from different people. So at end we need to analyze that, and after that we will conclude those results. Okay, so this is all about the interview. So why we need to use the interviews? Allow for personalized and detailed information. Okay, if we have much time and if we have enough time that we can have one-to-one conversation, so it is the best opportunity to get the detailed informations. Okay, flexibility to probe deeper into the responses. Okay, if we are talking just one person and he or she is responding about our problem and about our research, they provide us detailed information. Okay, they will provide us deeper knowledge about that topic. So that's why we are going to use interviews. But as the limitations say that it is time consuming, as if we are talking about ethnography, we go to any event and there are so many people and we are just spending 2 hours there and getting different information from there and then get back and then analyze the results. Okay, so in interviews we don't have 2 hours. In interviews we may require a month, maybe more than a month, to talk to one conversation. Okay, so for personal conversations, for one to one conversations, we need much more time and we need as like resources. So it is time consuming and resource intensive. Responses may be influenced by interviews bias. Okay, so there are so many people who are affected by that particular problem. So if we are just able to talk with one person who is facing that problem and not the other whole 100 people, so he or she maybe responds us on a bias vision, on a bias idea. So this maybe provide us bias results. So this also a limitation for the using interview research methodologies. So the further like mobile research and surveys and online communities. And in next lecture, we also talk about the focus group. Okay, so remaining all these methodologies, I will taught you in next lecture. So before going to end this lecture, I want to ask that what you have learned today.
Ma'am, I've learned about desk research and how it is used, and what are paper research and ethnography, and how to interview people and gather research from that, and observe how people are behaving in their natural, yeah, in their natural behaviors.
Okay, so so these are basically the research methodologies you will use in future if you want to do any kind of research. One methodology you will use or maybe combination of two or more methodologies you will use in future if you want to do research. Okay, so that's all about research and research methodologies. Hope you have built some kind of understanding with these topics. So okay, Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.